Hello and welcome back to Planets and Problems. This is our second episode and I'm Ayesha.
And I'm Atalia.
And I'm a Virgo.
And I'm a Sagittarius.
I feel like a lot has changed since the first episode.
Yeah, go on.
Basically, a couple of weeks ago I packed up and moved to Leeds and went through a breakup. Well, I went through the breakup and then decided within a few days to pack up and move to Leeds, didn't I?
Yeah.
So it was a bit spontaneous, a bit random, and I'm single now.
We love to see it. I'm single now, like the smile on your face.
I can't help it. It was a good decision, put it that way.
Yeah.
I think the relationship was coming to an end, but neither of us wanted to admit it really.
Yeah, I think you find that, especially with long-term relationships. I mean, it was, what, 2 years, nearly three. I don't know if that's classed as long-term or not, but I feel like you do start to get into that routine, especially when you're living together.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel as though, you know, let's try and make this work, and it doesn't have to. Like, if it doesn't make sense, then why do you have to keep forcing it? You're young.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned is that relationships are about getting to know the person to decide if you want to spend the rest of your life with them. You don't necessarily need to think, right, we're in a relationship now, we need to do this step, this step, this step. You need to take that time whilst you're in a relationship with them to think, do I want to be with this person? Like, you're still getting to know them within the first few years. You're still actually getting to know the person. So,
you know, the other day I was thinking really randomly, you shouldn't have to try to convince yourself to be with someone, because I was thinking about this with friends. Because my boyfriend, he's had a few issues with friends that I don't really need to go into, but you shouldn't have to try and convince yourself to be friends with someone. I think that's the same with a relationship.
Yeah, I do that. Like, as much as I didn't want to or don't want to admit that I did that, I spent a lot of time doing pros and cons lists and trying to convince myself that I should be with the person and that they'll change and they'll be alright, or it'll be different. But I think ultimately with my relationship that I've just come out of, we just became friends, and I think we both probably would admit that it just ended up turning into a friendship, and neither of us,
like an old couple.
Yeah, and neither of us wanted to leave each other because we did love each other. It just wasn't necessarily an love anymore.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was sad, but I feel like I grieved it in the relationship rather than grieving it now, because I think I gone to a new city, and I just got a fresh start.
A great city.
It's Leeds all day, isn't it? I just pack and leave.
Off you go.
So today's a bit of a Scorpio episode based on my breakup that I've just been through, and I'm trying to think, so I probably need to just mention a couple of traits before we go into the rest of it that I struggle with Scorpios. See if anyone thinks the same. So this is very stereotypical, but I find Scorpios to be quite quiet, introverted, antisocial, and they don't necessarily tell you what they're feeling. They'll hold it in, and then they'll just have an outburst where they just lay it all out, and you wish that they'd just told you how they were feeling during the relationship, and then eventually they just come out with it. I'm trying to think what else. I think they're the main, I guess, negative traits. They're also really passionate, but they're very what's the word? Not impulsive. They are impulsive, but not dramatic. Extreme.
Okay.
Extreme is the word that I'm looking for. So they're either so in love with you or they're really detached, and I think that's something that I definitely noticed within my last relationship. And that could be with anything though, not just relationships. It could be a hobby. They'll be obsessed with it, or they don't even think about it, or drugs.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've actually been wanting to tell you about a Virgo that I came across.
Right, go on.
So, I've moved jobs. It's still the same job, I'm just in a different place, so I'm working with different people. So, there's this one particular Virgo that I'm quite close to.
Okay.
And he's like a camp male. So we've been close and been like chatting and stuff. And then one day we both finished work at the same time and he offered me a lift home.
Right.
And we were taking somebody else that also worked in the same shopping centre as us, so there was somebody from a different store that came with us as well. And he's got a little Citroen C1 like both of us.
Yeah.
And we were on the way home, we were like, basically, obviously you've got like a more updated car than me, and the thing with Citroen C1s, they have like a bit of a dodgy clutch, and we were just slagging this car off on the way home. About 10 minutes before we get to the home to where we live, we just get this strange noise coming from the car. And we are literally slagging off. His car's called Clive. We are slagging Clive off to the max. And then we just hear this like horrible noise, terrifying. And then this light comes on that nobody in the car knows what this light is. And we're just, you know, like when you're in situations, if anybody doesn't know anything about cars, because I'm sure there's people listening that also know nothing about cars, just this sheer like, what the fuck do you do?
So how did the Virgo react?
Virgo came through.
Did Virgo
Thankful.
come through?
Virgo's come through. If it was me, little Sagittarius old me, I'd be in floods of tears, because I've had it before where my boyfriend was driving my car and the petrol light came on and we was on the M1, the motorway, and the petrol light came on and I just burst into tears.
Because the petrol
I was like, we're on the M1, like what do we do? And he was like trying to calm me down, and I was like convinced we were going to break down at the side of the road, and I would have to like call someone, or like it just wasn't that big of a deal. But for me it was the end of the world, because this was actually on New Year's Day.
Right.
We're on our way back from yours. We had New Year's Day, like breakfast at yours. That was on the way back from them. But yeah, Virgo pulled through. He was definitely stressed, but in like a comical way.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh dear, guys.
That is literally me.
I was there like, oh my god. So anyway, things just escalated from there. So we pull up at the side of the road, and he calls his friend who knows something about cars. Clearly not, because his friend was like, oh, it probably just needs some oil. So then I call my boyfriend, and then we go and fetch them some oil. And then my boyfriend passes the Virgo the oil, and he's like, oh, can you do it for me? Because we don't know what we're doing. So he puts the oil in, and then what happens, puts the oil in, and then we just leave, because I really needed the toilet at that point, and my Mackies was going cold. So we go.
That is such a Sagittarius thing to do. Of course they'll leave. They're going to tap out. Thanks, I'll tap out.
Yeah, I've done my part, but at the end of the day, we finished work quite late. It was like nearly 11 o'clock at night at this point. Like, I got to go home. And then I'm like, okay, let me know when you get home. Hope everything works out for you. Bye. And then I get this voice note. So we pulled off again, and we actually broke down at the traffic lights this time.
Oh no.
And I had to put my hand out the window to let the traffic go past. And then the, what is it, RAC? So we called the RAC, they showed up. And they were like, yeah mate, it's nothing to do with your oil. First of all, if you put an oil in, you've got to let it settle. You don't just set off straight away.
Yeah, no you don't.
Yeah, and then you also have to, we also had other things wrong with his car. They were like, yeah, so, what else was there? There was something, I don't even know the technical terms. So there was like, it was the engine, and then there was something else, and it was like, oh mate, look at your tyres as well.
This is the thing. As much as Virgo's a perfectionist, I feel like the perfectionists in specific areas of life, I don't think about my car. My car could be ready to break tomorrow and I probably wouldn't notice because I'm too busy making everything else perfect. But the certain things that I choose not to make perfect are a mess.
Yeah.
A massive mess.
Yeah, the night was a bit of a mess. He was like giving me updates, but he managed to get it sorted. Like, it was sorted. There was no like, He said he screamed at one point, but it was all very comical. Like the voice notes, he was literally laughing down the phone. There was no, you know, when someone's stressed and they make you feel on edge.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that.
Yeah, because we want to make you feel good. That is the most important part, is the fact that so we don't make you feel how we feel, because we know how it feels to feel how we feel. So if I'm anxious, I know how that feels. I couldn't think of anything worse than the other person being anxious, so I will do everything to keep them calm. I bet we'd make good pilots.
Probably, yeah. What about Dad though? Virgo Dad. Because I think he missed that trait when he was signing his Virgo slip.
Yeah. No, I actually think he did. I don't know if it works with Dad. I'm not sure. Because he definitely, everyone needs to be stressed if he's stressed.
Literally, but he still gets stuff done. Maybe he's got that other side to it. Like, he will get the stuff done, but it's got, the stress has to be part of it. Like, you either can't handle the situation and you keep everyone calm, or you handle the situation but everyone's got to be up there stressed with you.
Yeah, but sometimes with really stressful stuff, in all fairness, like proper stressful, serious, he doesn't tell you until after. Think about that. So if it's something that we don't think is a big deal, but to him is a big deal, we know about it and we have to be stressed too. But if it's a really big deal, like I'm thinking of a couple of scenarios where he sorts it out on his own quietly and then he'll call us to let us know that something's happened.
Yeah, okay.
So, because he didn't want to stress us out. So that definitely works.
Okay.
But that sounds like a funny experience. Gosh, I hate cars.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's awful, but there was part of me when it all was kicking off that I just thought, I'm just glad this isn't my car.
Again,
you know what I mean?
That is exactly what a Sagittarius would think. Of course, that's what they think.
Do you know what? At the end of the day, let's just be grateful this isn't me. Yeah, he's looking at a lot of money. A lot of money to get that sorted.
Right.
Virgo's full throw. He's already picking up more hours at work.
Right, now we're going to head on to our affirmation of the week section of the podcast, and I do this section because I just like affirmations. So this week's affirmation is: sometimes you have to walk away from what you want to find what you deserve.
I feel like that's perfect for your sitch.
That is exactly why I found it. That's exactly why I chose that one, because I think, yeah, sometimes you want something, but you deserve better and you don't realise that you actually deserve better. And sometimes it really hurts to walk away from something, whether that's a job, whether that's a friendship, whether it's a relationship. It really hurts to walk away. You can feel a deep sadness at even the idea of walking away, but you deserve better. And the fact that, you know, a few weeks later you can find better is just crazy. And then you look back, you might have a new job and you look back and think, oh, why was I doing that horrible job?
Yeah,
when I deserve.
It's difficult, especially when it's something that you want, to then turn away from it when you may not have anything necessarily planned afterwards, but just turn away, see what happens. When one door closes,
another one opens. Shall we move straight on to...
Yeah, let's get these problems.
Problems.
You know, I feel like I've had to warm up. Yeah. I'm ready now. Let's help people.
Okay. Well, first of all, you need to send us in some questions and stories, basically. So please do that. That is your call to action. So planetsandproblems@gmail.com. We'll put it in the description. So if you email us with any questions or anything that you want to let us know, but questions and for advice.
Yeah. Or even just a funny story.
Yeah. Include your star signs if you want. That'd be great, because then we can talk about it in relation to your star signs. Include your big three if you feel like it.
Chuck your big three in there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll go into detail with your big three if you let us.
We'll judge your big three. I'm judging people's big three.
I'll always judge a big three, definitely. Right, let's go for the first question then.
Hit it.
I'm a Scorpio and I was going out with a Libra man. He was so weird, like he was flirting, but not really. He was warm and understanding, then he wasn't. He told me about some girl he had a fling with, and 2 minutes later he was kissing me. After our third date, I had enough and didn't contact him. He tried to reach out to me several times, but I ignored him or I would respond very cold. I didn't understand why he was trying to date somebody if he just wanted to play around, I'm guessing. We had just one long kiss and that's it. It was never anything sexual, so he didn't just want to hit and leave.
So the Scorpio messing about with somebody else.
No, they're a Scorpio and this is a Libra that's messing about with the Scorpio.
I've literally just done a few TikToks about Libra men.
What do we think then?
Libras always love to have somebody in the background.
That is so true.
Honestly, they love it. I remember when I was dating this Libra, we didn't really say what it was or like where it was going, but you know their ex was there. This happened, what, 3 times actually.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I live with a Libra at the moment, and I can 100% confirm that they always have someone in the background. Like they've got multiple people on the reserves bench.
Yeah, ready to be subbed in.
Ready to be subbed in, ready to do that warm up and do the stretches and run around the pitch.
Oh yeah.
Like, that is a Libra all over. So as a Scorpio, which Scorpios are like all in or they're not.
Yeah.
So the poor Scorpio is, you know, 5th in line probably. Because they don't even want to sleep with you. They literally just want a snog, a kiss every so often. They're not even wanting to sleep with you. And the poor Scorpio wants to be all in or nothing at all. And they've got the Libra who's just leaving them in the wings. What do we think?
I don't know. Right. So what is it? Do you think this person's wanting a relationship?
I think that the Libra 100% doesn't ever want a relationship with this Scorpio. But I think the way Scorpios work, they either really like someone or they don't. And I think the Scorpio is probably just a bit confused about what to do next. Like, what is the next step for the Scorpio with this person?
If you want some fun, play ball. Play, you know, do your stretches, be ready. But if you are wanting all or nothing, then it's time to say goodbye to this Libra. I know it's difficult. Leaving Libras is a hard one. I don't know what it is about them. Probably the sex.
Probably. Yeah, I think it might be time to let the Libra go.
Yeah.
Because
they are very charming.
They are.
Libras.
Or just message them saying like, oh, when are we going to actually fuck then?
Exactly. Libras will fumble.
Yeah.
They fumble at the what are we question. Where is this going? If you honestly just ask them, so what are we doing here? Do you like me? Where do you see this going? They'll fumble, and that's when you'll know.
Yeah. Actually, get rid of this Libra man, because don't waste any more time. Libras are a mess. That's one thing that I know, and I hope all my best friends aren't offended, because all my best friends are Libras.
They're a mess and they're messy.
But they're a mess and they're messy. You know, forget them, Scorpio. You go find a lovely Virgo.
I knew you were going to say that.
Go and find yourself your Virgo and live your best life.
Pack up your shit and go.
Pack up your shit and go.
So we're on to the next one. So this person is currently not dating, still friends with my ex. They're a Scorpio and they broke up 3 years ago. Also, they've got a Taurus male who confessed to them, but has too many excuses, and now they have no idea what to do with him. The relationship would be really good though, in brackets. I'm a Taurus female.
Right, so we've got a Taurus female who's got an ex-Scorpio, and they have got another Taurus who's confessing love to them. But this Taurus has a lot of issues, basically, and excuses.
So first up, they're friends with their ex-Scorpio. What's that like?
Well, yeah, I'm friends with my ex-Scorpio. Do you know what? I think, like I was saying before, Scorpios are all or nothing. They want you or they don't. So as soon as they stop wanting you, you're mates. Whether you like it or not. So it's not that difficult. You're probably not going to be crossing any boundaries with the Scorpio. And Scorpios, I think, make quite good friends. Definitely.
But I just think friends who are exes, for me, no.
But does that come from an insecurity of that you wouldn't like your partner to be friends with their ex? Because if you were in a situation where you had an ex and it ended really amicably, and you didn't have any feeling, like you didn't feel like physically attracted to them at all anymore, like even when like if they went to touch you, you didn't feel a thing. This is really mean, but if you felt like if you felt like that, then why not? But I guess what sort of friends are they? Are they friends? Are they going to the cinema?
You just have to think, do you have friends that are like this person? So what is it? Is it a female that's wrote in?
Yes.
So do you have other male friends? Or is it just your ex?
Oh, so I do, personally. So yeah, you can ask yourself that question.
Whereas I'm not friends with lads unless they're gay.
Right. So that would.
So if I had a male friend that was an ex, it would be like, no, I'm not friends with boys.
Yeah, fair enough. Whereas I've got quite a few male friends, so it makes sense for me.
Yeah, I guess it's just, you know.
Oh, that's a really good way to think about it, actually. So they've got a Taurus male then that is obsessed with them by the sounds of it, but they sound like they're a bit crap. They're not actually doing anything. She said the relationship would be good though, but how would the relationship be good if this person's full of excuses? Come on, opinions of Taurus male, Taurus female together.
Right, no, because I do like the idea of Taurus and Taurus together. Is it the most toxic thing? Probably yes. But you know what? They work it out. They always end up back together.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun as well. It seems like the fire will always be spicy.
A lot of food.
Yeah.
You understand each other, your earth signs.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could be one of those where it's toxic, and it's either toxic and you work it out, or it's toxic and it's the worst experience of your life and you ruin each other completely.
Well, they've already come with the excuses. So I'm not really sure what you do from there, apart from give them a chance.
No, you need to want this person, I think.
Excuses for what? Because they've said they love you, but what are the excuses? Is it for not doing enough?
I think excuses for not actually wanting to commit to a relationship.
Right,
maybe.
well, play around with them. I think just have a play.
No, I think
I'm in a different mindset right now. I'm saying play around with everyone.
Listen to me, right? Don't listen to this newly single Virgo. If you want this Taurus male, tell them.
Okay.
Tell them, right? Just confess to them. They need to feel wanted. Tauruses need to feel wanted. They need to know that you are there, and then see what happens from then on. Because I feel like with Taurus, it's always, they need that push. They need to know that they are the one and only.
Yeah.
So you need to, if you want them, tell them, be straight up with them. I like you, let's make this work. Be persistent if you do really want them as well, because Taurus is stubborn. You have to be persistent.
And if they say no, you can fuck your ex.
Right.
You're still friends, so.
Oh yeah, they're a Scorpio as well. So I bet the sex was pretty good.
I'm sure it was amazing, although the Scorpio might not want to. That's the issue, if they've got the detachment.
Scorpios always want to.
I've not had that experience. Not had that experience, unless they really like you. So
it's a sticky one.
But they might do, so yeah, you've got that backup there. I know we were telling the first person not to be a backup, but you've got a backup, so
you've got the upper hand here.
Good for you.
I feel like we didn't really conclude that, but moving on.
Moving on. No, we did. You said, you gave a great piece of Taurus.
Yeah, but then you were like, and also play around and you've got your ex. I don't know.
Well,
take what you want.
You said not to listen to me today, so yeah, maybe just listen to Atalia's advice.
Oh, this next one's interesting.
This is a Scorpio who started dating a Leo a few days ago, and he tells them how much he likes them, but he's scared that he's going to stop liking them if they make one wrong move. And again, they're a Scorpio and they've also been traumatised by a Cancer.
Scorpio traumatised by a Cancer is beautiful. Go Cancers for that one. Thank you.
No, because I have a little Cancer story that's happened to me recently.
No, go on then before we get into this.
Right. So I'm on a popular dating app, and I start talking to a Cancer, It's a guy, and he seems really nice, and he says that he's, I think it's demisexual, which means, or is it, it's the sexuality where you have to have a really strong mental connection with someone. Sapiosexual, yes, sorry, hope I didn't offend anyone. Sapiosexual, but they have to have a strong connection with someone before they can like actually sleep with them. So I was like, great. He said he was into BDSM. I was like, ooh, great. You know, it sounds really interesting guy. And then we start talking, we start texting, it gets very flirty. So then he starts asking me to come to his. Oh, also I must mention, this guy is poly. He's in an open relationship and he lives with his girlfriend. And
I just forgot to add that little
yeah, he's in a full open relationship. So he starts asking me to come over to his, and I was busy. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and to be honest, I like to do stuff on my terms. So I said no. And then we start chatting the next day, and we decide that we do actually want to meet. So we organise for him to come to my house, and it's in a week because we're both busy. Then after that, he starts messaging me every evening to ask if he can come to my house. Now, how is someone that is in an open relationship that available to be able to come to my house every night? So I'm making excuses, and they're quite persistent with it. You know, instead of me being like, oh, sorry, I'm a bit busy tonight, they wouldn't let it go. Like, they were like constantly messaging me. And then a few days went by of this happening, and he starts, we get into like a flirty conversation again about like what's going to happen when he comes over, and he then starts asking me like loads of questions, and he's like, can I come over, like can I come over, I want to come over today, right? Even though he's supposed to be coming over however many days later, he's still obsessed and wants to come over. In the end, I said to my flatmate, we're like, look, you've not met him, let's just block him. So I just didn't say a word, I just blocked him. How do you think a Cancer reacted to blocking?
Oh no.
Well, a couple of hours later, I get a text from a different number. And it's him. How come you were so rude blocking me? What did I even do wrong?
But where's this number come from?
I don't know whose number it is.
Oh
it's a different number.
That's so embarrassing.
It's not his number.
Hey mate, can I just use your phone? Do you know what I mean?
And the thing is,
goodness me.
If he's looking for confrontation, he has come to the wrong person, because I'm just not very confrontational. So I just blocked the number. Anyway, I thought, oh dear, I've obviously upset him. Hope he's alright. Hopefully he's got other people. He is in an open relationship. And then a couple of days after that, I go back on the app, and he goes on the app and he's messaged me on the app as well to say that I'm rude and horrible, and that I was talking about like sleeping with him, and now I clearly don't want to. And he said, oh, are you coming back on the app to ghost some more people?
Oh no, get it together, man.
What do we think?
That's weird, because if you're in an open relationship, surely you just don't really give a fuck about, I don't know, you just move on. Well, I don't know, this may be me just stereotyping, thinking people in open relationships don't actually care. I'm
sure they do care, but if you've never met someone and you've been talking and the person doesn't feel like it's vibing, they should be completely fine to block, make that decision to block, especially if they feel like they're being a bit harassed. If you've sent 5 messages to someone and they've not replied, then surely, and they decide to block you, that's fine. Like, what was he expecting me to? We were going to get into an argument, is that what it was?
I don't know, because if you've not even met in person, then what is the issue? I felt, surely you just move on.
But I feel like I've ruined his week, to be honest.
God, he sounds like a dick.
No, he does, and I think the fact how he reacted just shows. I was getting a bad vibe. That's what I was getting, and now it just makes sense. Who's asking to come over to someone's house every night?
Yeah.
That you've not even met once?
Yeah. Come on. How old are we? Let's date first.
Yeah. He's 30 as well.
No, you dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. Yeah. Not because of he was 30, but you'd expect a bit more maturity.
Yeah. Like, oh, that old man.
Right. Anyway, so traumatized by cancer.
No.
So they've been traumatized by cancer. So
Yeah, maybe I changed my mind.
Is this what Cancers do?
Maybe.
Is that emotional side to them? No, but Cancer's supposed to be quite moody.
Why am I kind of here for it?
You're here for the Cancer energy.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's like, Cancers can either get shit on or they can take control and do the shitting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They either get walked all over or they can, you know, take the upper hand. I have that for them. I think I've never actually had any encounter with a Cancer in a relationship, so I'm just talking from the outside, and I just look at Cancers like, oh, these little water signs who are so emotional. So then when I see Cancers being toxic, I'm like, good for you, because, you know, in my eyes, you guys are just like little angels.
Yeah, but the poor Scorpio, because Scorpio is very empathetic and they can often feel what other people are feeling. So if this Cancer's doing all this crap to traumatise them, the poor Scorpio is going to go right into the shell. They've used the word traumatised. Traumatised. Like,
No, I want some more on what this Cancer
I want to
did.
know. Scorpio, let us know what the Cancer did, because I want to know. We might need to do a Cancer episode if we find out, so we can really dig into this. But so you're a Scorpio and you're now dating a Leo, and you're worried that the Leo's going to stop liking you. Is that because you're traumatized by the Cancer? Is that part of it? Or is it just because you really like them? What do you think? Do you think it could be a bit of trauma?
That's the yeah, I think that's the trauma rather than Leo's, because obviously Leos, they're fire signs, but I don't think they're as cutthroat as what you think. They like to mess about a bit before they actually, you know, they're not just gonna go, you've made one wrong move, I'm gone. Like, you know, they're here for a bit of back and forth. You know, they're not Sag, you know, the fire signs, but they're not Sag is gone, mate, one wrong move. But yeah, Leos, I feel like they have a bit more. I think you're just a bit traumatized. I think stay calm.
Yeah.
You know, it's only been a few days. And, you know, what are these wrong moves that you're planning on making anyway?
Do you know what? It's so funny that the Scorpio is talking about worrying that this person's going to stop liking them after a few days. That just shows how extreme. That's how Scorpios jump in.
Yeah.
They really jump in. So they're like, it's been a few days, not been a few weeks, not been a few months, it's been days, and you're already worried that they're going to stop liking you because you've become that obsessed with them.
Oh.
What do we think, though, to Scorpio and Leo? Because I think that's a weird pairing.
Yeah, it is.
Scorpios are antisocial as fuck.
Yeah.
Leos are at every party.
But then they say balance.
What do they for Scorpios? They're extreme.
No, just in general, they say,
oh,
you know,
they balance
opposites
each other
attract.
out. Right. Maybe as a quiet
Is fire and
Scorpio.
water supposed to be compatible, or is it fire and air and earth and water? Can't remember which way around it's supposed to be, but my theory is that what happens when you mix fire and water together, the flame burns out.
Oh my god.
I am a fire sign personally, and water sign. I've dated a few Pisces in my time. It's a no from me.
Well,
Not only do they burn, not only does it burn out, but they burn you out. Your flame is gone.
one thing though with the Scorpio, and it seems like you really like this Leo, just be careful, because one of the reasons why you might be attracted to the Leo might be because they are the center of attention. They're so chatty, and it almost gives you the opportunity to take the back seat. So be careful that you don't just like them. You need to like someone for how they make you feel, not just what they are as a person.
Oh, that's perfect.
So think about how they're making you feel. If you're feeling anxious already, that is not a good sign. You need probably someone that is going to jump in as you want to jump in. So just be careful as to thinking about the reason as to why you actually like that person.
Yeah.
And I would probably still keep going, but just remember, you are getting to know that person. You're not diving into a marriage.
And you clearly need someone that's going to make you feel secure as well, because you're traumatized. And if you know what happened before with the Cancer was a trust issue, Leo might not be the best. because they can be loyal. I'm not saying that they're not, you know, unfaithful. I'm just saying they're very flirty.
It feels good to get attention from a Leo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's the best.
Right, so we're going to go into the last section for this week's podcast episode, which is our problem of the week. So it's where we
our
answer
planet problems.
Our planet problems.
Even though there's just one a week.
Yeah. And we basically just answer a question about life. Go for it.
Well, still relating to astrology.
Still relating to
or like the spirituality world.
But yeah, well, that's what I meant by life.
Okay, that is our life. Anyway, so we've got... My question is is there any such thing as masculine and feminine traits? Now wait, because this was actually inspired by a TikTok comment that I got that said, but in all seriousness, male and female traits in astrology are exactly the same. There is no difference other than the difference from person to person.
Ooh. I think there must be.
It's a tricky one.
Because, so for a really easy stereotype example is Virgo males are really confident and chatty, whereas Virgo females doesn't mean they're not confident, but then they're not as like social.
Yeah.
So that's, and then I look at the difference between our dad, and me, and that makes so much sense. Like, he's really sociable.
People would say that you are chatty, but that's your Leo rising.
Yeah. So but then it's hard, isn't it? Because what masculine and feminine does exist. Genders were made up.
Yeah.
But the idea of masculine and feminine traits exists, so there must be a difference depending on, and nothing to do with gender, but depending on whether you're more masculine.
In actual astrology, there is.
Yeah. Well, there is, because isn't it?
But is it not just person to person?
The moon's feminine. The moon's feminine. The sun's masculine. So even that, the moon works on a 20.
Signs, I'm kind of like, they are pretty damn similar. For example, my own sign, men, and so every single Sagittarius man, every single Sagittarius female, they all have the same traits.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily. Is it traits or is it
actions or behaviour? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that going back to the masculine role in life would be the hunter, and the feminine role is the gatherer. So, of course, they're doing different things. So there's going to be different. There's going to be different traits. So I 100% think there is a difference, even if it's slight. I think if you went into a rabbit hole and researched, you would find at least subtle differences. Okay. But I think the overall nature of the sign is probably the same, because the Libras that I know, men or women, they're all messy. Doesn't matter what masculine or feminine, sorry.
Yeah,
they're all messy.
Sorry, there's probably some main traits that you can find in both feminine and masculine, because obviously otherwise they'd be completely different signs.
Yeah.
Whereas there's probably some that do. There's probably even gender differences as well, because the way that people are conditioned, but that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other podcast, mate.
It is. So, yeah, just looking at masculine and feminine, I think we've concluded that, yeah. I've not got an exact, obviously you came up with an example, but I can't actually think of any really, examples where I've gone, that's definitely only female blank, and that's only definitely male blank. So I'm still a bit on the fence.
Yeah, because I've only got that one example. I can't think of many others.
But I'm sure there'll be someone out there that's got a lot to say about this. So if you're in your head thinking, oh my god, yes there is, because I've got a family full of this sign and they're all different depending on, masculine or feminine, write into us.
Yeah, planetsandproblems@gmail.com. And also, if you've got any questions that you want us to answer, then let us know that are similar to this, of spirituality.
Yeah, or anything to add from, any advice that we've given.
Yeah.
Or if you are one of the people that has wrote into us today and you want to explain how this cancer traumatized you, please get in contact.
Yeah, we would absolutely love to know. But yeah, this brings us to the end of our second episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. This was Planets and Problems. I'm Ayesha.
I'm Atalia.
And we'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye.